I'm delighted to be here today with Rishaad Sacoor, Kia's Head of Brand Strategy in Europe. Rishaad, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Mary. It's a pleasure.
No, it's a pleasure. Kia's transformation in the automotive industry is a remarkable journey from being perceived as a budget-friendly brand to becoming stylish, innovative, and reliable automaker. And I would call this a mammoth shift that involves strategic rebranding. So something you can only do if you leverage market and consumer insights, even internal signals, I would say. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey to finding Kia's meaningful difference?
Yes, it was an exciting, and it is still an exciting journey. Then let me take that cue and maybe start from the beginning. Look, there was a moment in time a few years ago where we realized that, namely in the European region, the brand had, we would say, reached almost a certain ceiling for its potential. I think the product, the organization, the services, so everything that we were delivering to the market and the growth itself was happening at such a positive and fast pace that the brand and the associations to the brand were having a trouble keeping up. Okay, so that really led us to start to question the fundamentals of, okay, what do we need to do in order to associate those new and different perceptions to the brand, to make it represent something forward-looking, and to, again, not only bring it up to pace with what was the evolution of the organization then, but also, even more than that, be a North Star and a guiding light for what the future could be for this business and this organization. And that really led us into, as you say, a very, very deep analysis, soul-searching almost, I would say, process, where we went to the roots of our identity. We traveled, we talked to people from all around the world, in and out of the organization, in and out of the brand, to try to really uncover what was the real identity, what is the genesis of it, what are the truths that lie behind, and how could we capture all of that in a way that would also be relevant for consumers and, in this case, an automotive industry, which was entering a phase that now seems obvious, but then it was just starting a phase of enormous disruption and innovation. Probably for the first time in hundreds of years, automotive, in 100 years, automotive was being disrupted by technology, by new powertrains, by software, by everything that we now know and see. And we felt we needed probably something else to lead the way and to inspire the way going forward. How can we be more of a brand that is meaningful to them, that stands out? And so it's in this three-way process of internal search, looking at the industry, and also looking at consumers and their shifting also needs. And it was in the center of this that we found the new Kia brand, probably, as you said, and as we always say, probably one of the deepest and transformations in the industry. It was not just visual. It could not be just visual. It impacted our products. It impacted the design. It impacted our values. It impacts still our culture.
Yes. Yes. And you mentioned signals, and I want to talk to you a little bit and ask you about measurement, which is a contentious topic in our industry. It's a major marketing challenge that we also decode in our Diary of a CMO report. The reason, I suppose, that it remains a challenge is because human nature favors what moves fast and overlooks what moves more slowly. And often, despite knowing exactly where we want to get to, what our goal is, we found ourselves deviating from it because, let's say, we're reading a circumstantial reading. Tell me a little bit about your KPI scorecard. How do you design it, and what mechanisms did you put in place to avoid getting distracted?
Yes, very, very good point and very fundamental point of what we've been doing. Look, obviously, if we wanted to become a different brand and release ourselves maybe from the limitations that we were feeling previously, we also had to, again, in the same logic of questioning and transforming everything, performance, KPIs, how we measure, how we keep on track, how we keep ourselves in tab, is a fundamental part of that. And it is, let's say, in this sometimes soft and strategic and conceptual world of brand and strategy, it just gives us that tangible anchor, and allows us to understand if we are moving in the intended direction or not. Look, what we had to do was add to what are the hard, I call it the hard business KPIs, or the hard operational KPIs, right? Of course, you're going to measure your digital touch points, you're going to measure your advertising effectiveness, et cetera, et cetera. You're going to measure your sales, obviously, and your conversions and your leads and in our case, your test drives and all of that. But if we were to, again, transform ourselves and create something new and different here, we had to question some of the fundamentals. Some of the hard fundamentals in which probably, in a disrupting industry like ours, maybe looking at the past doesn't really give us much to work with towards the future. If you are in an industry that is in progress and optimization, great, probably decisions from consumers and in the market, the evolution in the last 2 or 3 years can give you a good guess of what's going to happen next in that continuity. When you are in constant disruption, where every day there is a new player coming into the market, a new technology being launched, then things move very fast, and so looking back not always gives you the best clues in how to then decide to move forward. That happened. Besides that, we had to add some more, I would say, qualitative analysis that allowed us again to make that transformation in brand perceptions, attributes, how we come across. Are we reaching the new audiences that we want with this new brand, because we feel they are the ones leading the change? We had to add a little bit of that layer to the hard business core metrics. And on that, I think metrics like, we embarked on the brand tracker with obviously with Kantar. Metrics like meaningful and different, we follow them very closely. They are embedded and engraved in our very top management's goals. This is something we continuously and as often as we can refresh and analyze, dissect, and try to understand if things are moving in the right direction. It just gives us a way to gauge if, again, additionally to the core business KPIs of sales and commercial part, it just gives us a way to understand if we are really connecting with consumers. Are we really starting to mean something to them besides the purchase moment? For consumers who are not in market, who are not purchasing a car, they're not interested in buying a car today, tomorrow, in the next year, or ever. We still want to mean something to them. We still want to be a brand that contrasts and obviously has its own differentiated and standout image. And those are the kind of that's the kind of tracking, that's the kind of measurement that we started doing, and that has helped us really understand in this process and in this journey where we're going, where we're being taken sometimes by consumers, and how to then act upon it, and how to try and again stay consistent, stay focused in the direction that was originally envisioned. Because we still feel it is the right one and the one that we want to follow.
Yes. You know what? You can have the best measurement system in the world, and I think you do because you trust and you follow closely the dimensions of meaningfulness, difference, and salience. But I would say you still have an operational challenge in your hands because ensuring brand integrity from concept to execution is a significant operational challenge. And it requires both horizontal and vertical alignment across the organization because it's about building the right internal culture. It's about empowering teams to act consistently with the brand values. So my question to you would be, what strategies have you found that are being the most effective in maintaining that consistency across a large and diverse organization like here?
One is information. The second is tools and platforms. We together with the brand, we also launched an internal brand management system, where we get a one-stop shop to distribute all the information, all the directions, all the guidelines, all the logos, all the assets. There is one source of truth. And that just allows us a different level of consistency and agility because the whole organization sources their tools and their inspiration and their directions from the same place. And that is a great help. However, probably the third factor is the most important, which relates exactly to what you mentioned. It's about culture building. No?
Yes.
We go out of our way and we take it as probably one of the, if not the most important task and job for us is to keep everyone across the organization engaged with the brand, understanding the culture that we're trying to build, feeling part of building it as well. And this is about, you can name, this is about all types of activities and all ways of doing it. No, from team buildings to internal workshops to talks to inspiration sessions. I mean, we try really to make sure that these values are lived by everyone, that people can relate to them and identify themselves with them. It's quite an introspective process, I would say, even which contrasts a bit with our business life. But there is a certain level of introspection that is required to understand. Okay, how do my values match this brand that I'm working for or working towards? How can I contribute? What are here the commonalities? Because honestly, it's only when that identification rises and surfaces that I think people can really reach their maximum potential in helping to shape and contributing to shape this brand. And hopefully, step by step, brick by brick, we are building that wall of culture and consistency. And ultimately, if that is done, the combination of giving the right information, providing the right tools and platforms, and then empowering people with the right understanding and a feeling of belonging also and contribution. I think the combination of the three will result, and we see signs of that already in these first years, will result in great work, in a stronger brand, in incredible outputs, and hopefully in a quite cohesive culture as well that we build along the way.
Brilliant. Rishaad, thank you. Thank you for speaking so openly about the everyday challenges brand leaders face and for sharing actually such practical and thoughtful advice with us all. I mean, to be honest, it's always a pleasure to collaborate, to exchange ideas with you. So I would like to double thank you and just say bye for now.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the inspiring conversation. And I will see you soon.